Hello everyone, and welcome to the Best News channel. In this video, we'll look at the latest employment-based immigration updates for this week of July 13th to July 19th. So we have interesting updates, or rather new updates around new visa and relocation rules that was released by Department of State. The public cleared rule is descended, also rescinded. Also, we covered F1 duration of status this week, and also H1B 27 cap reached. So we will cover all of these topics in detail. So this is what the agenda looks like for today. If you want to subscribe to our channel, do subscribe because this will help you get weekly updates without really going through anything else. Yeah, let's get started. So the first one is, this has been all over the news, and we also did a separate video on this. But in short, if you have missed it, USCIS or DHS actually published this final rule where they're ending the duration of status. Essentially, they're replacing the duration of status with a fixed admission end date. What it means is that in the past, F1 student could come into the America and then they could continue to be for unlimited amount of time by changing degrees, essentially from first master's, second master's, and you didn't really had to do work with any DHS or anything. Now they've changed that, so now they're introducing a fixed time duration for FJ and I, and it's a maximum they're giving is 4 years or the length of the program. So usually, if you are an F1 student, essentially, you are going to get doing masters. You'll probably get 2 years plus your OPT period, or maybe not. We'll see how that thing will come out. So this is actually a significant change, and here are the quick highlights. Right, 4-year maximum admission, and you have to file an extension of status with USCIS after. Your program ends or you hit the 4 years, either of those, right? On the grace period also, they cut down from 60 days to 30 days. This is also another big one. And the biggest one is for if you're a master's student planning to study or already there, right? You can't really change programs or do second masters. In the past, you were able to, once you go to America, you could actually change your degree and go to a new college, all of that. But if you're a master student now, that is not allowed anymore. That is starting from this September, right? So that's not going to be this. This is going to be very big one rather. And if you're an undergrad student, you have to study in the same school that you went to for 1 year, and then you can change. And also, when you do for essentially biometrics and all of that, when you apply for extension of status and all of that. So we did a detailed video on this. So I would suggest you watch that. We have covered all of these in details. It's a pretty significant change. So if you're planning to study in America or if you're already there, we've covered all the scenarios. Do watch that. Then again, there is an implementation. They're giving some time to adjust and all of that. So yeah, watch that video. So the second big news, for this week is H1B 2027 cap reached. There is no second round lottery. So if you've been waiting for your employer to essentially update that, maybe there is a second round lottery, so that hope is gone. USA has probably, USA has released the shortest news release on this. In the past, they used to give a longer news release, a lot more data for us. But this year, they did not give any official data. All the data they gave was in a Facebook post that was in May, and that said they received about 11,600 registrations, and that showed the drop is about 38.5%, and the US advanced degree majority selected was 71.5%, and the level non-wage was 17.7. So these metrics came directly from a Facebook post. So we wrote an article on this and we did a separate video on that. You can watch that for more details. But the whole idea is this is the first year US is implementing this wage-based weighted lottery where wage level 1 would get 1 chance and level 2 would get 2 chances, level 3 3 chances, level 4 4 chances. So the idea is they want to get more and more level 4 wages or more senior people. That's the whole idea. So in short, if you have been waiting for second round lottery, unfortunately you're done and you can't really have this as an option. So now you have to look for other options. And if your H1B was picked, you probably would have applied and you get it approved, you can start working from October 1st. So if I miss this year, your next is actually next year, FY 2028, which starts in March of 2027. So start planning for that and then, do accordingly. And also with the new changes that are coming in, duration of states and all of that, you need to talk to your attorney as well as, all of your DSO and plan that, right? So this is a new one. So if you can see, this is from the US Department of State website, July 15th. July 15th is when this came in. So they updated guidance, essentially saying that non-visa immigrant non-immigrant visa interviews can only happen in your home country or the country where you're residing. What used to happen is, let's say you are in America, you would want to get a visa stamping. I mean, to some extent, some of you could go to Mexico or Canada and get stamping done, third country national stamping. So some of this was really reduced. In some cases, some exceptions are allowed. But with this, what they're doing is they're completely removing that. So you can't really like now go to neighboring countries or a country where you have an appointment, where there is no basically wait time and get this stamping. So now this is essentially like they're removing that a third country national stamping. What it means is that you can only book your interview at your country of nationality. Let's say you are Indian citizen, you can only book in India. Or let's say you're an Indian citizen living in, I don't know, in Germany or UK, and that is your country of residence, then you can book there. And this is not new. You could always do this, but they're restricting this third country national stamping. In the past, they were allowing here and there, but now they're completely removing that. And there are some exceptions for that. If you are applying A, G, C2, and some of these diplomatic visas and humanitarian cases, they allow that. But other than that, that is not going to happen. So it's kind of like because right now what's happening is this H1B delays are there, H1B appointments are not available. In India, so people are trying to get stamping in other countries, and these kinds of things are all now gone, right? And they say that they may not cancel existing appointments, but some posts may notify exceptions if such things happen. So it's not a convenient option. But again, this has been implemented to partly in the past, but now they've really like made it official so that you can't really get any exceptions anymore. So the same thing is now applicable for immigrant visa interviews. Like this is basically for family-based or employment-based or divorced visa holders who are going to interview for, the green card interviews, right? So these are not like non-immigrant visas. So this also, they're giving certain time and all of that, right? So, but this also they're making it strict. You can't do that in another country because of the appointments. There are very limited exceptions for that. So this only applies for green card people who are applying for green card and who got their thing approved and their thing is available and they do the interview in their home country, right? So this is a very other scenario. Another big one is actually the public charge rule is rescinded. So on July 20th, Trump administration published this. It's going to be effective from September 18th, 2026. So this basically rescinds the 2022 Biden era rule. I think public charge was a very, very big one. The Trump administration's first term. If you look at our blog and things like that, so there's been a tremendous changes that they wanted to do, to scrutinize what are the benefits people are using, all of that. They changed a lot of things. But after the first term, Biden came in and they kind of rescinded that entire thing and they gave a new one again. So now it's back to square one. This time, Trump administration is doing something quite different. They're just rescinding the rule. But what they're doing is they're not publishing any new rule. They're just going to use policy guidance. So what it means is that if you're an H1B applicant applying for green card, and applying for adjustment of status after September 18, 2026, then you will have to you'll not be, but they won't be using the old public charge things. So they will publish a new I-485 form and other things that you have to be filled, and they're going to be more discretionary. Discretion is a very, very blanket term and very broadly used. So we don't know how this will apply. So we'll only see how this will play out once things come out. But most of the times for employment-based immigration applicants or an H1B, this probably may not apply unless you are in certain cases. It's going to mostly impact, people who are in family-based immigration or who used benefits and things like that. So again, discuss with your attorney. Again, we're going to get the new form, so there is still time for this. So we'll have to see how this plays out, and we don't have the policy memo as well released. So we'll see all of these, and we'll keep you posted. Stay tuned. So what continues to be unchanged is if you're EB2 and EB5 July based on July visa visitor, there is nothing's available for India, right? And there is a new advanced adjustment of state extraordinary relief member that came in, and there's OPT fraud crackdown is happening, and also they're doing similar one Department of Department of Labor is running a similar one. They announced it, so that also is ongoing. So in terms of bulk slots, nothing was released this week. So it's been pretty quiet. It's been a very long time right now since we've seen really bulk slot released for H1B. So it's kind of like pretty tight. So do not really try to come to India hoping to get a slot. Or even if you have a slot, it's pretty risky to come in, because if it cancels for whatever reason, then you are really stuck. So it's very, very, unless it's really emergency, please do not even consider moving, traveling to India. So it's a problem. So in summary, key takeaways here, the big couple of big ones are the F1 duration of status that's ending with changing to a fixed 4-year duration, or that the grace period is reduced to 30 days. And you can only schedule non-immigrant visas in your home country or the country where you're residing. You can't do third country stampings anymore. This used to be happening in exceptions, now that's completely out. So the public charge rule is rescinded. That was actually like by Biden administration. So there won't be a new regulation per se. They're going to use policy memos to run some of these things. So we'll see how this plays out. We're waiting for a new form as well to come out that. And H1B 2027, 2027 cap is full. There is no second round lottery. So this is what's happening. And there is no bulk visa slots for H1, H4 release this week. So these are the key updates, folks. Again, thank you for watching. Do subscribe for getting regular updates.